Welcome to all of you. This is the second part of this chapter. So let's see. Consequently, even though I could see the horse so magnificent, even though I could smell it so lovely, even though I could hear it breathing so exciting, I couldn't believe the horse had anything to do with my cousin Murad, yeah, with me, yeah, with any of the other members of our family, asleep, awake, because I knew my cousin Murad couldn't have bought the horse, and if he couldn't have bought it, he must have stolen it, and I refused to believe he had stolen it. No member of the Gargolian family could be a thief. I stared first at my cousin and then at the horse. There was a pure stillness and humor in each of them, which on the one hand delighted me and on the other frightened me. So consequently means as a result, Pius so religious, so scared. So Aram was so excited that he was seeing a horse that was so pleasant and beautiful. He could smell it and hear it breathing and still could not believe that Murad, his cousin, yeah, anyone in the family of him could afford a horse like this. He was thinking if Murad had stolen the horse, but he did not believe it, as he thought no one in his family could be a thief because his community is it is the hallmark of his community that to trust and believe. He stared at his cousin and then at the horse. There was a religious motionless and witness in both Murad and the horse, as one charmed him and the other scared him. Once he was confused what to do. On the one hand, he was so pleasant, so happy to see this kind of horse that was his passion, yeah, desire to ride on to the horse of, while on the other hand, he was still thinking ki how could it's possible that Murad, who is belong to a very poor family, can bought this kind of horse. Murad, I said, where did you steal this horse? Leap out of the window, he said, if you want to ride. It was true then, he had stolen the horse. There was no question about it. He had came to invite me to ride or not, as I chose. Well, it seemed to me stealing a horse for a ride was not the same thing as stealing something else, such as money. For all I knew, maybe it wasn't stealing at all. If you were crazy about horses the way my cousin Murad and I were, it wasn't stealing. It wouldn't become stealing until we offered to sell the horse, which of course I knew he would never do. Let me put on some clothes, I said. All right, he said. But Harry, I leaped into my clothes. I jumped down to the yard from the window and leaped up onto the horse behind my cousin Murad. So he asked his cousin Murad if he had stolen the horse. मैं वो जानना चाहता था कि क्या उसने घोड़ा कहीं से चुराया है. Murad replied, if he wants to ride, he must jump out of the window. Aram was convinced that the horse was stolen by Murad. He came to visit him to ask him to ride it with him. Aram tried to convince himself that it was not about riding a horse. He thought that it would not be called stealing until they decide to sell it, which they would never do. Aram said he will wear some clothes and some come outside. He jumped down to his yard from his room's window and sat on the horse behind his cousin. That year we lived at the edge of town on Walnut Avenue. Behind our house was the country, vineyard, orchard, irrigation ditches, and country roads. In less than 3 minutes, we were on Olive Avenue, and then the horse began to trot. The air was new and lovely to breathe. The feel of the horse running was wonderful. My cousin Murad, who was considered one of the craziest member of our family, began to sing. I mean, he began to roar. Every family has a crazy streak in it somewhere, and my cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of the crazy streak in our tribe. Before him was our Uncle Khushro, an enormous man with a powerful head of black hair and the largest mustache in the St. Jacqueline Valleys, a man so furious in temper, so irritable, so impatient that he stopped anyone from talking by roaring, "It is no harm, pay no attention to it." So, vineyard, vineyard plantation of grape wine used in the वाइन मेकिंग मीन्स जहाँ पे वाइन के लिए जहाँ पे अंगूर के बागीचे होते हैं, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड वाइन यार्ड. एंड ऑर्चिड मीन्स ए पीस ऑफ लैंड ऑफ द प्लांटेशन ऑफ द फ्रूट, जहाँ पे फल की खेती वगैरह होती है, प्लांटेशन उसको बोलते हैं हम ऑर्चिड. एंड इरीगेशन में सिंचाई करना, इरीगेशन डिश मीन्स होता है कि मैन मेड चैनल्स यूज टू डिलीवर वाटर टू होम इंडस्ट्रीज या अदर यूजेस. And so, Aram lived at the edge of town, on Walnut Avenue. Means at that time they were living at the town side, Walnut Avenue. There were orchard, vineyard, irrigation ditches, and country roads behind his house. Means behind his house, so many things as like vineyard, irrigation ditch, and orchard वगैरह. At that time, they were consist. They were on Olive Avenue within 3 minutes, and the horse started to proceed. The air felt new and lovely to breathe. Aram felt wonderful sitting on the horse, which was running. Murad started singing loudly, who was considered one of the craziest member of the family. There is one crazy person in every family, and Murad was the one natural descendant of the crazy race in their tribe. Before Murad was Uncle Khushro was the one huge man with black hair and largest mustache in the valley. He had an energetic temper and was impatient, which was irritating. He used to make anyone stop talking by roaring and say, "It is no harm, pay no attention to it." Means it was his a kind of takiya kalam, that a kind of dialogue. Means he stopped everyone by saying that it is no harm, pay no attention to it. That was all, no matter what anybody happened to be talking about. Once it was his own son Arak running 8 blocks to the barber shop where his father was having his mustache trimmed to tell him their house was on fire. This man Khushro sat up in the chair and roared, "It is no harm, pay no attention to it." The barber said, "But the boy says your house is on fire." So Khushro roared, "Enough, it is no harm, I say." My cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of this man, although Murad's father was Zorab, who was practical and nothing else. That's how it was in our tribe. A man could be the father of his son's flesh, but that did not mean that he was also the father of his spirits. The distribution of the various kinds of spirit of our tribe had been from the beginning capricious and vagrant. So student, capricious means होता है inconsistent changes of mood, a person whose mood is constantly changed, and vagrant means a person without a settled home या work. We rode and my cousin Murad sang. For all anybody's knew, we were still in the old country where at least according to some of our neighbors we belonged. We let the horse run as long as it felt like running. So Uncle Khushro was always this rigid, no matter who happened to be talking about in front of him. Once his own son, Arav, whose name was, came running to him when he was getting his mustache trimmed at the barber shop. He told him, means his son told Mr. Khushro that the house was on fire, to which he roared and said the same dialogue. Barber was amused and tried to talk to him about it, but as usual Khushro roared again and did not pay and said, "No attention, pay no attention to it." Murad was considered to be a natural descendant of this man, but he was not his son. His father was Zoram, who was a practical person. A child could look like his father, but doesn't mean he gets his natural and attitude just the same. There are different kinds of person in their tribes. Mood and without any settled work on or home. They were still riding the horse, and Murad was still singing loudly. They were still in the countryside where, according to their neighbors, they belonged to. At last, my cousin Murad said, "Get down, I want to ride alone." "Will you let me ride alone?" I asked. "That is up to the horse," my cousin said. "Get down." "The horse will let me ride," I said. "We shall see," he said. "Don't forget that I have a way with the horse." "Well," I said, "any way you have with a horse, I have also." "For the sake of your safety," he said. "Let us hope so. Get down." "All right," I said. "But remember, you have got to let me try to ride alone." I got down, and my cousin Murad kicked his heels into the horse and shouted, "Wazir, run." The horse stood on its hind legs, snorted, and burst into a fury of speed. That was the loveliest thing I ever seen. My cousin Murad raced the horse across a field of dry grass to an irrigation ditch, crossed the ditch on the horse, and 5 minutes later returned dripping wet. So Wazir, in name, fury, anger. So Murad asked he to get down as he wanted to ride alone. Aram asked if he could ride the horse alone. He said it is up to the horse, means it depends on the horse. If he wants to ride here, you along, and ask him to get Murad down again. Aram tried to convince him that the horse would let him ride, to which Murad said that we shall see, and told Aram that he had a way with a horse. Aram told him that he had it too. Murad told him to get down and said, "It is for his own safety, let us hope so." Aram got down while telling him that he will ride the horse, and shouted, "Run to him." The horse stood on its hind legs, breathed out, and ran into a speed. Murad raced the horse across a field of dry grass and irrigation ditches. When they arrived 5 minutes later, they were totally wet. The sun was coming up. "Now it's my turn to ride," I said. My cousin Murad got off the horse. "Right," he said. I leaped to the back of the horse, and for a moment knew the most awful fear imaginable. The horse did not move, kick into his muscles. My cousin Murad said, "What are you waiting for? We have got to take him back before everybody in the world is up and about." I kicked into the muscles of the horse. Once again it reared and snorted. Then it began to run. I didn't know what to do. Instead of running across the field to the irrigation ditch, the horse ran down the road to the vineyard of Decran Halabian, where it began to leap over vines. The horse leaped over 7 vines before I fell. Then I continued running. My cousin Murad came running down the road. "I'm not worried about you," he shouted. "We have got to get that horse. You go this way and I'll go this way. If you come upon him, be kindly, I'll be near." So, reared means raised, snorted means breathed out. So the sun was almost up, means the sun was shining in the sky, and Aram told him it was his turn to ride. "Now you got off." Murad got off, and Aram sat on the horse. He was fearful, and the horse did not move. Murad tried to guide him by saying that he should try to kick into his muscles, and told him that he should hurry because they need to take him back before everyone woke up. Aram kicked into the muscles of the horse, to which the horse again raised and breathed out. The horse began to run, and Aram did not know what to do next. The horse started going towards the road, the lead to the vineyard of Deccan Halabians. It began to move over vines, and Aram's full fell down. Means from Aram fell down from the horse. The horse continued to run, and Murad came running down the road towards him. Murad told him that he is not worried about him, but they need to find the horse. They both went different ways to find him. He trusted Aram to be kind if he saw him anywhere.